Good. I want to get to a couple of stories here that I think are very pertinent. Here's the one headline that requires special paper crinkling today because it's troublesome. According to the headline, some Jerseyans are unable to accept that an income of $74,000 is regarded to be middle class. What is this about? A recent Newsweek survey indicated Gen Z didn't consider $74,000 middle class, and so there's a viral TikTok that has also gained a lot of traction. An Orlando real estate agent went on TikTok after sharing this Newsweek study. $74,000 to a lot of Americans is a really good salary, okay? And I'm going to unpack that for you. The video's gotten 8 million views and probably more since obviously we put this together for the show. And 41%, this is the Newsweek survey that he cites in the TikTok, only 41% of Gen Z respondents considered $74,000 to be middle class. Millennial participants of the study, 50% of them said that $74,000, sure, that's middle class. And then 61% of Gen Xers, that's my generation, and 73% of baby boomers agreed that $74,000 is middle class. So if you look at the people that have been working the longest, that's Gen X and the boomers, they go, yeah, $74,000 is a middle class salary. So let's look at what we know from the actual data. Statistical data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and Pew Research. $74,000 falls squarely in the middle between $38,000 and $114,000, which is the range that the Pew Research Center defines as the middle class. America's middle class is defined right now as the range on the low end at $38,000, on the high end $114,000. So if you look at that, $74,000 is there, it's right there, square in the middle of the middle class. So the discrepancy, so this is interesting. $74,000 is higher than the average Gen Z salary. So Gen Z is going, well, I don't think it's middle class. In the third quarter of last year, the Bureau of Labor Statistics found that the median salary, so that means it's right in the middle, it's not the average, it's right in the middle, of 25 to 34-year-olds was $52,000. So in this video, he goes in and he breaks down the theoretical monthly expense for a financially responsible Gen Zer, and this is what he came up with. A take-home pay of $4,300 after taxes, then you've got health insurance, 401k investments, and then he put an estimate of $1,400 on rent, a shared department in the mid-sized city groceries, $600, and other expense telephone bills, leisure money at the end of the month. The average in year would be left with about $650, a meager sum that would make home ownership a distant dream, he said. And so this guy is saying, and this is the deal, and it's not clear in this video, Alex, but correct me if I'm wrong, what's absurd about this is that Gen Zers think that $74,000 is essentially lower class. They don't think it's for that, and they're clueless, but that's what's absurd. First of all, they don't know what they're talking about because they don't look at. Did any of them go, when surveyed, did any of them say, well, what is the range of current middle class? And answer the question that way? No, they didn't. They just answered a survey. No, I think $74,000 is lower class. It's mind-boggling. So let's look at this. This guy and his numbers, okay, because he's saying to have $650 left over every month is a meager sum, okay? Let me do the math on that. Let's take his example and let's say that a Gen Zer can save $650 a month. In this budget, by the way, and I'm going to come back to this, includes a student loan payment and a car payment, okay. And then we don't know what the leisure money was, but we can do the math. This was the excuse I used. $4,800. $4,300 minus $1,000. $3,300. Another $400. So $2,900. And he had $600 for grocery. That takes it down to $2,300. And then he's playing it out, so the leisure money. So we've got an unidentified category of leisure money, but let's just take the $650 a month that these Gen Zers would have. Now last I checked, Alex, 600 times 12 is 72. So if we take the 650, so we take the 600 times 12 months, that's $7,200 for you mathematicians. And then there's the 5 times 12, that's the $50 over 12 months, that's another $600. So by my estimation, by this TikTok that went wild, an average Gen Zer could save $7,800 a year. Is my math right, guys? Thank you very much. That's pretty good. And they're sniveling at that. That's meager. How many Americans, Alex, would like to save $7,200? Excuse me, sorry, I got my $7,800 a year. A lot. Now let's go back into this TikTok budget because this is absurdity. By the way, I have a phrase for this that I'm going to unpack in just a second. So if I've angered some of you Gen Zers, wait for it. I'm about to anger you a little bit more, but somebody needs to be your dad. I'm going to be your online dad today. You're pissed at your dad all the time, so I don't mind if you're pissed at me. Here we go. Let's go into the little TikTok budget, student loan payments. I'm putting you on the spot, Alex, and I'm putting you in a position where you don't have to tell me my year. Curious what the average is. There is some data on the average student loan payment right now. What if kids work their way through college? What if kids didn't go to all the name brand colleges and were duped by the message that a college degree is the next natural step towards success? That would free up some money, wouldn't it? The answer is yes. I'm putting you in a position where you must tell me my year. I'd be curious because I want to plug that in. But let's say that the average monthly payment for a student loan is $500. That sounds like a lot, but according to the source, it's between $280 and $585. All right, let's split the difference between the two amounts, shall we? Let's go with $400. So we found $400 that you didn't have to pay in student loans. Now let's talk about car payments. I know for a fact, Alex, that the average car payment in America right now is over $700. So let's just call it $700. All right, so let's take the $400 student loan payment, the $700 car payment. That's $1,100 a month that I just found in this TikTok video. That's $1,100. If I round it down to $11,000, guess what? That's $12,000 a year, on top of the $7,800. I'm going to round it up to $20,000. $22,000 a year on the salary in this TikTok video that went viral, and everybody's going, oh, I don't have enough money. I don't make enough money. I can't survive. $220,000 a year times 3 years is $60,000. A $300,000 house at 20% down payment is how much? $60,000 could buy a house in 3 years. Am I right? The answer is I'm unequivocally right. And I got a sweater on. I'm not a boomer. I'm a Gen Xer. This is the kind of crap that's happening on TikTok that is creating this, for the younger generation, unrealistic expectations. And let me tell you what unrealistic expectations lead to. Unmet expectations. And unmet expectations lead to discouragement and depression and people not going for it. I just showed you the same TikTok video. And I won't go viral for this probably unless we put this next to this guy's TikTok video and go, he's full of crap. And this is a vision of despondency instead of a vision of reality. Based on this take-home pay with no student loan debt and no car payment, you can save up for a house in 3 years. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. I'm tired of hearing all the gripe. There is a way. The American dream is alive and well. You just gotta work for it. For more interesting topics, make sure you subscribe our YouTube channel and give your feedback right now. Thanks for watching.